not turning out a lot of good product.
That's very true.
The most interesting stuff is indie films.
Yeah, that's what everybody wants to see.
Well, I was talking to one of the volunteers today, and we were having this exact discussion that, like Hollywood, like the big budget horror movies, they're all like remakes of something.
Or sequels.
Yeah.
Or sequels. Yeah. If you want something original, you have to go like the indie route. And but even then, it's not necessarily always original, even though it's always, for the most part, interesting.
My film is inspired by a classic Steven Spielberg's Duel. And it's not a remake. It's inspired by.
It's like an homage.
An homage, exactly. But yeah, the Hollywood, they will, and it's not just the remake stuff they do. It's just like you can predict pretty much exactly what's going to happen with one of the films. A girlfriend asked me the other day, let's watch Denzel Washington's movie Unstoppable about the train. And I said, why? I go, going to stop the train.
Yeah.
I already know what's going to happen. Why am I going to waste 2 hours to see that?
Why waste the time to watch it? You already know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
At least he did Book of Eli.
Yeah. It was interesting.
That was a good one.
But speaking of Rage and film festivals, how many awards has it won yet? Because every time I see something on Rage, it's always that it's won best of fest or something.
Yeah, we so far I think the total is it's either 12 or 13, something like that this year.
That's good.
Yeah, and I've been really happy with the way that it's performed, and that's one of the reasons why we didn't sign a deal either. In the past, is because we think that our thought was that if we, for lack of a better term, we get a good pedigree, which reviews and awards, and then you have markets coming up. Like in Santa Monica, they have a big market there where they sell all the territories around the world. Hopefully, you get on board with a good rep. And then they basically shop your stuff around, and having a pedigree helps. That's one of the things they use to show the value to the potential markets and sell it that way. So that was another reason why we waited so long.
Yeah. Is there? Well, I guess we probably couldn't even talk about that, but we were talking in the first episode. We were talking about how we didn't think Rage would have any problem getting picked up by something like Magnet or because when you watch Rage, it kind of has that feeling of you could just see Magnet or Anchor Bay or something
almost
having a logo in front of it.
You could almost see the logo. Right. Yeah, no, I like those companies. I actually when Rage was just in the scripted stage, I got a chance to talk to some of the people from Anchor Bay at Comic-Con. A couple of years ago when I was just scripting it, and just talked to them a little bit, and we haven't engaged with them since then, but hopefully next month we're going to have a big push to talk to all the potential distributors out there, the ones that we haven't already talked to.
Yeah. When you're talking about scripting the movie, how did you actually wind up getting funding? I don't guess it was self-funded. I guess how'd you go about that?
Basically, what I did is that after the script was written, from that point on I just put together a prospectus, a business prospectus that basically has all the elements in there, the script, any artwork, any of that kind of stuff, but also the legalese about basically how much money you're trying to raise. You have a budget in there. And as I was just talking to a young man online who is trying to put together a project, and he was thinking that he would go the route, a Kickstarter, to see if he could get some money. I was telling him that everybody and their mother is doing that now. So it doesn't hurt to try, but put yourself together a really good business prospectus on what it is you're trying to do, and also in there you will have some information about what other films of that's similar to your film, what they're doing financially out there, how much money they're making, and you target your investors, whether they be doctors, lawyers, friends and family, whoever, and you get it to them. And if you shoot a little trailer or something, because a lot of people are using these fake, or the fan type trailers or faux trailers. And raising money that way, like that film, what was it, Hobo with a Shotgun, and there's a film.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which
I love
great.
that movie.
Yeah, no, I did too. I love the trailer. The original trailer was awesome. And there's another.
You did like the movie?
Oh no, I love Rutger Hauer. I thought it was.
Okay.
No, it really did feel like a 1980s sort of low budget grind house movie. And I loved the gore in it. The gore was just over the top, ridiculous. But no, I loved it. I was happy seeing Rutger Hauer doing something, because I like him a lot. His role in Blade Runner and the what was it? The Blind Fury, where he was the swordsman. Oh yeah, great stuff.
Speaking of like gore and stuff, Rage isn't necessarily heavy on gore. There is some blood in the movie, but because we were also talking about it when we did the first episode, but it kind of every time that there is violence, you kind of like just kind of turn the camera away. Now was that like an intentional thing, or was that something that was more due to budget that maybe you didn't have?
It was intentional. I mean, the whole in the two scenes where there is probably the most violence is the scene at the door, which I don't want that away. And we didn't actually see any real connection, but we saw lots of blood and everything. And that scene was designed to be similar to like the rape scene, where it's more audio, it's more suggestive instead of showing. Because my favorite all-time director is Alfred Hitchcock, and what he understood.
I said that in the review.
Oh, great! Yeah,
I said it's very Hitchcockian.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, then.
Yeah.
Because he understood that if you suggest something, if a person turns away and won't watch it, if they're too squeamish, they're gonna fill that gap anyway with their imagination. So and then it will depend on the individual, because there's some real twisted people out there. True. It depends on how twisted you are as to what your mind will fill that gap with. And in 1960 when Psycho came out, there were people who got up and walked out of the audience. Who walked out of the theater, and when asked why they did it, they described all this stuff that just didn't exist in the film. And the same thing happened to us in Germany. We had 4 or 5 people get up and walk out on that scene, and I ran out because I wanted to know what was going on. And they were describing things in that scene, the rape scene, and you've seen the film, so you know that it's more suggested than you actually see. But they were telling me they saw all kind of things that just wasn't there. So
that's one thing that I liked about the rape scene is that we did go over this, but it was more that you kind of looked more into the like the husband's eye during the rape scene than actually see the rape, and it was more of like just looking into his brain, kind of. That's one thing I definitely liked about the movie. I think we even went over. As far as the biker goes, about how we kind of compared it to like an alien, like a gray alien, where it's just nothing but like blackness in the eyes, and you don't really see one way or another, no anger, no fear, but
exactly.
But you can't really tell if he's enjoying it.
It is scary.
Yeah, his mannerisms are very minimal. And I actually got a chance to meet John Carpenter in Kentucky a couple of months ago. Yeah, he in a diner. Just went over and talked to him. And after my heart slowed down and I could, and it's like I'm never really nervous, but for some reason, John Carpenter, I was like, oh shit, that's John Carpenter. Went over. Oh, I'm sorry, I just cursed. I don't know what the.
It's okay. You can curse all you want.
Okay. So I went over to him and I told him that I hope he didn't mind me ripping him off a little bit, because the character is designed a little bit after Michael Myers. And, and just the very minimalism and how scary that can be. But the character for the biker was modeled on something like Michael Myers, and there's definitely that aliens sort of thing in the car, the sequence where the lead Dennis Twist turns and he sees something in the back seat. Alien-esque, but yeah. Yeah, but he said fine. He said what Carpenter said to me was this. He goes, I said, yeah, I hope you don't mind me ripping you off. And I explained to him. He goes, hey, brother, have at it. And that was it. So he's a real good guy, real nice guy.
Well, he seems like he would. I can understand what you mean about being scared talking to him, because he does seem very intimidating. Like when you see him in like interviews and stuff like that. But you're talking.